You shall not steal. When looking at the issue of stealing or theft, one returns to the exact same issue disproving the sixth commandment. That is to say, this is another near cultural universal. Almost every society in existence over the course of history has laws concerning the protection of property. I will admit, however, that the actual laws protecting private property and the private property be protected, try saying that 3 times fast, may change from one society to another. For an example of this, I will examine personal property laws that existed in different societies throughout history. Let's first look at one of the oldest legal codes known to exist, the Code of Hammurabi. This law code was engraved on an obelisk, shown here, circa 18th century BCE. This means that this law code is between 400 and 500 years older than the Code of Moses as promulgated in the Torah. Let's take a look. Code 7 states, if anyone buy from the son or the slave of another man without witness or contract, silver or gold, a male or female slave, an ox or a sheep, an ass or anything, or if he take it in charge, he is considered a thief and shall be put to death. And Code 8. If anyone steal a cattle or sheep or an ass or a pig or a goat, if it belong to a god or to the court, the thief shall pay 30-fold. If they belong to a free man of the king, he shall pay 10-fold. If the thief has nothing with which to pay, he shall be put to death. If any of my viewers think these penal codes are hard, you should read what Hammurabi said about medical malpractice. The Mosaic Code does not depart significantly from this type of Bronze Age savagery. Exodus chapter 22 states, if a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall be no blood shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he shall make full restitution. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be an ox or an ass or a sheep, he shall restore double. I would remind you that even the most primitive societies have laws or social sanctions protecting personal property, even though they have few personal possessions and almost everything is shared among members of their tribe. Where did they get their social sanctions? Even when their ideologies of their society existed before Christian bigots sent missionaries to teach them about the 10 Commandments. Now, I believe that I know something about the subject of theft. After all, I'm a mall cop. The act of shoplifting from a store in my mall is just as illegal as the actions of the greatest thief in our generation. Somebody who is caught shoplifting is brought before a judge who will order the offender to return the stolen item to the store in question, or pay a restitution cost that is equal to the cost of the item stolen. The thief will also pay court costs, legal fees, and public defender fees. An offender who steals a higher cost item and is therefore guilty of grand larceny, the offender may be awarded a prison sentence of some determinate length. Bear in mind, of course, that prison sentences for theft is a concept that is found absolutely nowhere in the Bible. Also bear in mind that nowhere in American societies are the laws that state a thief must repay double the amount stolen, or whatever multiplication amount. In fact, in American society, a victim is lucky to receive a return of the principal cost of the stolen item, let alone an amount suitable to purchase a replacement. Compare this to Japanese society. In Japan, a thief, or anyone brought before the court of law for that matter, will be expected to make a gomen payment, gomen being the Japanese word for apology. A gomen payment is 20% surcharge on the principal of the item stolen or the cost of repairs to damage. This money is paid directly to the victim as a face-saving gesture that is intended to convey what the word implies, an apology. This is one of the rare cases in which I, as a theistic agnostic, actually agree that the biblical teaching is actually preferable to the existing laws. Theft ought to be costly to the offender. Even still, just as the Bible verses I referenced implied, a thief who has no means to pay the legally inflated cost of the crime ought to be put to work in order to pay full restitution. Obviously, these Bible verses are referring to slavery in exchange for payment of death, and existing laws do not allow for such extreme measures. But what are we supposed to do about thieves such as Madoff, who is now sitting in a prison, when he could be working a minimum wage job in order to repay his victims? Which scenario is better for our society? This is an open-ended question, of course, and not one that is easily answered. Going slightly off topic, one should note that even the most popular video game in the history of the world, of Warcraft, has a rogue character class. Christian bigots tend to gravitate towards classes such as paladins and priests. Noble Shadows Priestess for the win! Yay! But let's not forget that these little rogues are also a lot of fun to play. My point being, of course, that even this completely fabricated virtual world of Warcraft contains its own rules of fairness and equal treatment that tend to echo the rules of overall society in the real world. An unscrupulous player who hacks other players' accounts to steal completely electronic items that exist only in this virtual world can expect to have his account cancelled, and Blizzard employees will then work to restore the pilfered items back to the players who lost them. So even in this online virtual world, existing only on the internet, gamers themselves impose certain sanctions on the actions of other gamers. And those sanctions exist regardless of the fact that Blizzard does not base its games on the 10 Commandments.
Where's Buttercup? Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
So, in summary, the prohibition against theft, just like the prohibitions against murder in the 6th suggestion and perjury in the 9th suggestion, is a near cultural universal. Since American laws do not match the penalties specified in the Bible, it is evident to me that the 8th suggestion is debunked.